Hello, welcome to this yoga practice. This practice moves us into all directions of movement of the body, and it's the sequence that we work with during my 50-hour Yang Yoga course as well. We work with these postures. Please make sure that you have some props. As you can see, I have blocks and a belt. Maybe you want a meditation pillow for the beginning. And of course, if you don't have blocks at home or a strap, remember that you can use a belt from a bathrobe or books, for example, so you can be creative. And I hope you enjoy it. Let us begin. So we're going to start in an easy cross-legged seat. You can sit like I do. You can also sit on, for example, a meditation pillow. See if that feels nice. So sometimes when you elevate the hips and you bring the knees can come a little bit more closer towards the ground, releasing a little bit in the hips here. You can also choose, of course, to sit on a block, or maybe if you don't like this seat at all, you can also come and sit into a hero style seat. Maybe you use one block, maybe you use two blocks to give you some support, and that might be a little bit more comfortable for you. So you check for yourself what is your preferred position. The idea is that you can be comfortable in your seat for a little bit of time. So find your preferred seat. And then take a nice deep breath in. And on the exhale, closing your eyes and starting to bring your awareness inside your body. Let us take a moment here to really become present inside the body. At the moment we close our eyes, we shut off the world around us, and we start to become more aware of our internal world. So take a moment here to feel your seat. You can feel your sitting bones grounding down into the ground or the prop that you're sitting on. Noticing if you can release any tension, any engagement in the hips so that the knees can relax even a little bit more down towards the floor. Let that lower part of the body be really heavy. Really should feel that sort of grounding sensation there. And then lifting up from the sitting bones with the spine. The spine is light. And you lift up all the way towards the crown of the head, and the crown of the head up towards the sky. So you find some length along the spine. Now we try to avoid any rounding in the lower back, so keep that natural curve that you have in the lower back, that slight hollowing. You can pull your navel in and up a little bit to give yourself some stability for the lower back. Opening into the chest. The shoulders are back and down. And the arms are just relaxed, and the hands can rest on your knees or your thighs or inside your lap. And then the neck is long and the face is soft. And I hope you feel you can be relaxed in this position. At the same time, of course, you also have to engage a bit to keep yourself upright. But I hope you find comfort in this seat. And then start to bring your awareness in towards your breathing. And just start to follow the breaths as they come and go. And no need to change anything just yet. Just following your natural rhythm of breathing at this moment. Noticing the quality of the breath, whether the breaths are deep or shallow. Whether you notice any restrictions somewhere in the breath. And then let's start to take a little bit more control over the breathing. We're going to find a steady rhythm of breathing. Breathing in and out through the nose. The idea is to find the same length for the inhale and the exhale. You start to use more of the capacity of your lungs and start to breathe into all the directions of the rib cage. You can inhale, breathing in towards the chest and the side ribs and towards the shoulder blades, the lower belly. And on the exhale, just releasing, letting go of all that air. Deep breaths in, long breaths out. And if you find it hard to find an equal rhythm, same length for the inhale and the exhale, you're welcome to count your breath. You can count 4 counts in and 4 counts out, for example. If you need it to be shorter or longer, that's also fine. Just do what feels right, finding that steady rhythm. We want to try to find a rhythm of breathing that we can keep throughout the whole practice. Few more breath cycles in this seat, really finding that connection with your breath. Noticing that when you start to control your breathing, you start to elongate the depths also of that breath, that your body becomes in a more relaxed state. And even though we're doing an invigorating, a strong practice, we still want the breath to be deep and slow so that the body stays in a relaxed state, even though the practice becomes more intense. Taking one more deep breath in and out. And then on your next inhale, circling the arms out to the side. And then let the hands meet above the head. On the exhale, hands come down towards the heart. Anjali Mudra. And then as per yogic tradition, if you like, you're welcome to set an intention or a dedication here for your practice. Bringing the thumbs up to the middle of the forehead, the third eye, sealing your intention here. And then back to the heart. Gently blinking your eyes open. Stay with your breath. And then let us find a way into a child's pose. So you're going to bring your knees sort of the distance of the mat. The feet come together, the buttocks come down towards the heels, and you extend the arms forward. Relaxing the forehead down onto the ground. Just surrender here for a short moment. Notice how nice it feels to be supported by the ground underneath you. Now know that this position is a really nice position to take if you need a break throughout your practice. So you're always welcome to come into Balasana, Child's Pose. And of course, you can also take any other seat if that feels more comfortable for you, if you need a break. Then you just join back into the practice whenever you're ready. On your next inhalation, making your way into a tabletop position. So bringing the shoulders over the wrists and the hips are over the knees. And of course, if your knees are sensitive here, place something on under the knees or double your mat. And then we'll take a few rounds of cat-cow. Now you can turn your biceps forward so that you open a little bit more into the shoulders. And then we'll just on the inhale, drop the belly down, tilt the tailbone up, and open the chest forward. And then on the exhale, rounding, pressing into the hands and the knees and rounding into the spine. Inhaling, opening into the chest, belly down towards the ground, tailbone up, and exhale, round. 3 more, moving in your own pace, your own rhythm. Inhaling to open, and exhale, rounding into the body. A slow, controlled breathing, staying connected to the breath with whatever movement you make. Last round, inhaling, chest forward, tailbone up. Exhale, round. And then on the inhale, coming into a neutral spine. We're just gonna do a little bit of a warm up and a stretch for the wrist. So if you have your shoulders over the hands and you stay here while you lift the hand palms away from the ground, this will be quite intense. The more you lean towards the back, the less weight there is on the hand, so it will be more easier, lighter to do this. So finding whichever position works for you, you press your fingers down into the ground, and then as you inhale, you lift the hand palms away from the ground and the wrists. The fingers stay down. And exhaling, you lower. Inhale, lift up with the hand palms, and exhale, lower. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, lower. Moving in your own rhythm of breathing. Let's do one more. Inhaling, lifting up, keep the fingers down. Exhale, lower. And then bringing your right hand with the fingers in towards you and slowly roll the hand down. And then you can see if that feels okay. You can do the left hand at the same time. You're also welcome to take one hand at a time. Be mindful of your body. If you're only doing one hand, make sure to swap. And then we're going to bring the fingers towards the middle of the mat, and the wrist towards the outsides of the mat. And then coming onto the right fist and the left fist, and the fingers are in towards the middle of the mat. And then coming onto the right fingertips and the left fingertips. The hands come down, and then you can also bring a stretch into the other direction, bringing the back of the hand down to the ground. Also, I would like to always do one hand at a time here because it's quite fragile on the wrist here, so sensitive for the wrist, so be careful. Some people can do it with both wrists, but both hands at the same time, but be careful. Okay, bringing hands forward. Maybe you just give your wrist a little shake. And then spreading your fingers nice and wide. Tucking your toes, take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, pressing back, downward facing dog. Take a moment to feel your alignment here. How wide do the hands need to be away from each other and the feet? How far apart? Feeling, and how much distance do you need between the hands and the feet? And then you can start to take any movement here. When you start to walk your dog, alternating heels up and down, you'll start to bring some length to the back of the legs, and that can feel nice. You probably feel this in your calves as well. I also always like to take a side stretch where I pivot heels to one side and I let the hips drop to that side. I also like to lift up one leg and bend into the knee, open into the hip. Now you don't have to do all these things, but just nice to feel and open into the body. And then from here, slowly, you're gonna walk yourself with your feet towards your hands, coming all the way towards the front of the mat. When you arrive at the front of the mat, the feet are about hips distance apart. You can bend a little bit into the knees so that you release your lower back, take your opposite elbows, and just hang out here for a moment in ragdoll. Maybe you sway a little bit from side to side. You can also straighten into the legs as much as you can if that feels nice. You find it a little bit more of a hamstring stretch that way. Stretch at the back of the legs. Releasing the lower back, and probably the more you bend into your knees, the more you get to release into the lower back. Just see what works nice for you. Let's take one more breath cycle here. On your next inhale, releasing the hands down to the ground. Exhaling. And then on your next inhale, halfway lift, flat back. You can have your hands on your shins as well. Exhale, fold. Inhale, engage into the core, circle the arms all the way up. And exhale, hands in front of your heart. And releasing the hands down and bringing the feet together. I always like to have my big toes touch and the heels slightly separated so that the outside of the feet are parallel. Let's see what works for your knees and your hips. Strong position in your mountain pose, Tadasana. So really ground those feet down. Lifting up the kneecaps, strong legs. Pulling the navel slightly in and up. You keep the chest open, but the lowest ribs tucked in. So you create this corset around that lower part of your torso. Strong arms. The face can be relaxed. Now you can start to engage your Ujjayi breath if that's in your practice. Slow breathing with a constriction in the back of the throat, breathing in and out through the nose. And you will start to create that sort of hissing sound, the sound like ocean waves or the wind in the trees. And also be mindful of your bandhas, pulling up your pelvic floor muscles, your mula bandha, and your navel slightly in and up, Uddiyana bandha. And that will give you a lot of power and strength as well. We'll go for 3 rounds of Surya A, Surya Namaskar A, and 3 rounds of Surya Namaskar B. Deep breath in and out. Inhale, circle the arms up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, planting hands, stepping back, plank pose. We'll go a little bit slow this first round. Deep inhale here. And then on the exhale, knees go to the floor and then slowly lower down, chaturanga. Elbows close into the body. Pressing the fronts of the feet into the mat, inhaling, opening the chest forward for cobra. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Deep breaths in and out. Find length along the spine and length along the back of the legs. Next inhalation, bend into the knees, look in between your hands. Exhaling, step or hop towards the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, circle the arms up. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Inhale, circle the arms. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant hands, step back, plank pose. And slowly lower down, chaturanga. Maybe you keep your legs straight now. Inhaling for cobra, or maybe upward facing dog, where the knees and the pelvis is lifted away from the ground. Strong legs. Exhale, downward facing dog. Deep breaths in and out. Next, exhale, bend into the knees, look in between your hands, step or hop to the front of the mat. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, circle the arms up. And exhaling, hands in front of the heart. Inhale, circle the arms. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant hands, either step or hop back, chaturanga. Inhaling for cobra or upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Deep breaths in and out. Spreading your fingers wide and pressing into all your 10 fingers, releasing pressure of your wrists. Connecting to your breath. Connecting to your body. Deep inhale. And on the exhale, bending into the knees, look in between your hands, step or hop, front of the mat. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And then inhaling, circle the arms. Exhaling, hands in front of your heart. Surya Namaskar B, inhaling, chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, planting hands, stepping back, plank pose, lowering down, chaturanga. Inhaling for cobra or that upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, plant the foot in between the hands, back foot 45-degree angle. Inhale, come up, warrior one. Exhale, hands come down, stepping back plank, lowering down chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, lifting the left leg. Exhale, step the foot in between your hands, back foot 45. Inhale, coming up, warrior one. Exhale, hands down to the ground. Stepping back plank, lowering down chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. And exhale, down dog. Nice, deep, long breaths here. Strong legs. Strong hands pressing down into the ground. Deep inhale and exhale. Inhaling, bend into the knees, look in between your hands. Exhale, step or hop to the front of the mat. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale into Utkatasana. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Inhaling, chair pose. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, planting hands, stepping back. Chaturanga. Inhale for cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhaling, the right leg lifts. And on the exhale, step the foot in between your hands, back foot 45. Inhaling, coming up for your warrior one. Rotating hips and chest forward. And you want them parallel to the short side of your mat. Inhale here, exhale, lowering hands down, stepping back into your plank, slowly lowering chaturanga. Inhaling for cobra, upward dog, and exhale, down dog. Inhaling, left leg rises. On the exhale, step the foot in between your hands, back foot 45-degree angle. Inhale, arms up. Rotate that chest forward. Deep breath in. And on the exhale, hands come down, stepping back, plank pose, lowering down, chaturanga. Inhaling, cobra, up dog, and exhale, down dog. Breathe here. Elongate along the spine and elongate along the back of the legs. On your next inhalation, bend into the knees, look in between your hands. Exhaling, step or hop forward. Inhaling to halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhaling into your chair. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Inhaling, chair pose. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, planting hands, stepping back, plank pose, lowering down, chaturanga. Inhaling for cobra or that upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, plant the foot in between the hands, back foot 45-degree angle. Inhale, come up, warrior one. Exhale, hands come down, stepping back, plank, lowering down, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, lifting the left leg. Exhale, step the foot in between your hands, back foot 45. Inhale, coming up, warrior one. Exhale, hands down to the ground. Stepping back, plank, lowering down, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. And exhale, down dog. Nice, deep, long breaths here. Strong legs. Strong hands pressing down into the ground. Deep inhale. And exhale. Inhaling, bend into the knees, look in between your hands. Exhale, step or hop to the front of the mat. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale into Utkatasana. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Releasing your hands down next to your body. Closing your eyes for a moment. And just feel the heat you build, the warm-up of the body. Breathing here. And then blinking your eyes open, gaze soft. And then inhaling and coming into your chair pose, Utkatasana. Pull that navel in and make sure that you can see your toes here. Lean a little bit more into the heels if you can't see your toes. Deep inhale. And then slowly on the exhale, start to lower your sitting bones down to the ground. Maybe you need to use your hands here. Maybe you can gracefully sit your sitting bones down and slowly start to come into Navasana boat pose. Now the first variation would be holding on to the legs here and keeping the knees bent. Try to keep the chest nice and open. Maybe this is enough for you. Maybe you bring one hand away from the legs, maybe two hands. Maybe you straighten into the legs. If you straighten the legs, keep the balls of the feet, the balls of the big toes pressing in towards each other. Relax your shoulders, breathe. For 3, 2, 1, lowering down to our low boat. Sacrum is on the ground, the lower part of the spine. And the legs and the shoulders are lifted away from the ground. Breathe. For 3, 2, and 1. Mini Shavasana. Take a nice deep breath in and out. And then you can hug your knees into your chest. We're going to rock a few times back and forth. Keep the spine nicely rounded. And if you can use your momentum here and coming up into a forward fold. And otherwise, make your way there through any other way that suits your body. Inhaling to halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhaling, circling the arms up. Exhaling, hands in front of the heart. Bringing the feet together. We'll start with our first flow. Make sure that you have a block onto both sides of the mat. Take a nice deep breath in and out. And then inhaling, circling the arms up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhaling, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant hands. Maybe you jump into your chaturanga this time, or you step back. Inhaling, cobra, upward dog. And exhale, downward dog. Inhaling, the right leg lifts. On the exhale, step the foot in between your hands. The back foot is going to come into a 90-degree angle, parallel to the short side of the mat. And then cartwheel the arms open into your warrior 2. Breathe here. Making sure to press into that outer edge of that back foot. Lifting the inner arch, strong legs. And then on your next inhale, straightening into that front leg. Back foot steps in slightly if that feels better. Inhaling, reaching forward. Now really try to just tilt from the pelvis first as much as you can. And when you can't tilt any further, then the right hand comes down and the left arm comes up. And remember, you can lean on your shin here. You can also always use a block. Listen to your body. Breathe. Finding length. And try not to let the hip flare out. You can point the right hip towards the left back heel. On the next inhale, engage into the core, strong legs, press yourself back up. Exhale, bend to that front knee. Maybe the back foot steps a little bit more towards the back again. And then next pose, Parshvakonasana. You can have your arm on your thigh. You can have your hand on the inside of the outside of the foot. You can also have a block under the hand, of course. Reaching that top arm overhead, look at that hand. One straight line from the back foot to the hand. Breathe here. See if you can rotate the lowest ribs a little bit more up towards the upper ribs. One more breath cycle. And then you're going to bring that top arm on your hip. Step your back foot in a little bit. Maybe you need a block. You place it just in front of you. And then we're slowly coming into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. So slowly transition, looking down at the ground, starting to come onto that right leg as your balance, as your base. Lifting up the left leg. Flex into your foot. It helps a lot to create balance here in the foot of the back leg. And then if you find your balance here, hand on the block or on the floor, then slowly start to turn your chest open towards the left. Maybe you bring your top arm up, and maybe you can look up at that hand. Breathe, engage into your core for 3, 2, 1. Looking down to the ground, and then slowly finding your way back into a warrior 2 position. Next inhale, straightening into that front leg. And then you pivot the foot in, so the feet are parallel to each other. Taking Prasarita Paratonasana, hands on your hips. Inhaling, opening into your chest. And then on the exhale, folding forward. Now, you've tried to have your big toes slightly in and the heel slightly out. If that feels okay for your knees. And then hands in between the feet as much as you can. You can press a little bit into the mat, finding length along the back of the legs. Finding length along the spine. Breathing. Let's take one more breath cycle. And then on your next inhalation, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, placing the hands on your hips. Inhale, coming all the way up to standing. And then on your exhale, pivoting that left foot forward towards the back of the mat. And bringing yourself back into a warrior 2 position on the other side. So for the video, I will change to the front of my mat. So now you get to see me from the other side instead of just looking at my back body. So find your warrior 2, left leg in front. Strong legs here, pressing into that outer edge of that back foot. And then on your next inhale, straightening into that front leg. And remember, you can step your back foot a little bit in for Trikonasana. Inhaling, reaching forward first. So first that tilt of the pelvis. Once the pelvis doesn't tilt anymore, then the left hand comes down and the right arm comes up. Remember pointing your left buttocks now towards the right heel. Try not to collapse down and keep a little micro bend into that front knee. And we want to avoid sort of hanging into the joint. We still want strong legs here. And then on your Next inhalation, gauging into the core, pressing into the feet, you bring yourself back up. Bending into the front knee, maybe that back foot steps a little bit more further backwards. And then coming into that side angle. Remember, arm can be onto your thigh as well. Or the hand can be onto the inside or the outside of your foot. And you can use a block, of course, under the hand as well. Arm overhead towards the front of you, and then you really press into that outer edge of that back foot, and you reach with the fingertips and you look at that hand. Find your breath. Stay with that steady rhythm of breathing. On the next inhale, the top hand comes towards the hip. You can look down or go for half moon on this side. Step your back foot in a little bit. You can use a block or you can be with a hand on the ground. And then slowly start to pick that back leg up. Strong core here. Press into the ball and the heel of your foot as if you're pressing into an invisible wall with that back foot. And then from there, slowly, you can start to open the body up towards the right side. Breathing here, stay with your breath. Breathing for 3, 2, and 1. Looking down and a slow controlled descent back into your warrior 2. And then you straighten into that front leg and you pivot the foot in. So again, feet parallel to the short side of the mat. Interlace your fingers behind your back. So you're interlacing your fingers. If you find that it's hard for your shoulders, then use a belt. You can hold a belt behind your back as well. And that gives you a little bit more space for the shoulders sometimes. Inhaling, opening into the chest. And then on the exhale, folding forward. Arms come overhead. Breathe here, release your neck. Really press into the feet. Pressing specifically into the outer edges of the feet so that you pick up the inner arches. Deep breath in and out. Let's take one more breath cycle. And then on your next inhalation, engaging into the core, press into the feet. You lift yourself all the way back up. Releasing the hands, pivoting the right foot forward, coming back into your warrior 2 position. Deep breath in. And then on the exhale, cartwheel the hands down, stepping back into down dog straight away or taking a vinyasa. Vinyasa is going from plank down chaturanga, inhaling for cobra or upward dog, and then exhaling into your downward facing dog. Let's take one more deep breath in and out. And then inhaling, bending into the knees, looking between the hands. Exhale, step or hop to the front of the mat. Inhaling to halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Stay here, bring the feet about hips distance apart. We're going for Padangusthasana. With your peace fingers, you can take a hold of your big toes. You can also hold your ankles, your calves. Inhaling, halfway lift, flat back. Pull the navel in. And on the exhale, pull with your arms onto your legs or your toes. creating that forward fold. Getting yourself a little bit more deeper into it. Use the power of your arms. Stay with your breath. Slightly turning your upper leg bones in. So internal rotation might give you a bit more space here. You're also welcome, of course, to bend into the knees a bit if you really feel that that is better for your hamstrings. Listen to your body. And then on the next inhalation, halfway lift. On the exhale, releasing hands. Hands come onto the hips. And inhaling again, coming all the way up to standing. Bringing the feet together. Take a deep breath in and out. And then inhaling, circling the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, planting hands, stepping back, plank pose, lowering down, chaturanga. Inhale for cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhaling, the right leg lifts. And on the exhale, step the foot in between your hands. Strong legs here, inhaling, coming up for your high lunge. Deep breath in and out. Inhale, and then on your exhale, hands in front of your heart, and then twist prayer towards the right. Maybe you can hook your arm to the outside of the leg. You rotate your chest open towards the right side. Breathe here. On your next inhale, super strong core, slowly coming back up to that high lunge. Deep inhale breath and exhale. Maybe you can sit a little bit deeper, inhaling. On the exhale, hands in front of your heart. And then on your next inhale, coming into your warrior three, slowly start to bring the weight forward, lifting up that back leg. Again here, strong back leg. Breathe. For 3, 2, 1. Slowly coming back, lowering the hands down to the ground, and then stepping. We're going in for a side plank actually. So your back foot is going to come onto the outer edge of that back foot, the left foot. The right foot can also step in front as a kickstand, or maybe you can bring that right leg on top of the left leg. Really press into the hips, pressing them up high. Breathe. Maybe you look at your top hand here. Maybe you even lift the top leg away from the lower leg. Inhaling. And then on the exhale, placing yourself back into your plank. Deep breath in. And then on the exhale, slowly descending chaturanga. Inhaling for cobra or up dog. Exhaling down dog. Deep breaths in and out. On the next inhale, the left leg rises. And on the exhale, step the foot in between your hands. Inhaling, coming up high lunge. Stay on the ball of your back foot. Strong legs. Deep inhale breath. And then on the exhale, hands in front of your heart. And twist prayer open towards the left side. You can hook the arm. You can also stay up high if that feels better. Breathe here. If you hook the arm, use that leverage to twist more from the navel upwards. Breathe. And then on your next inhalation, slowly coming back, strong legs, strong core into that high lunge. Exhaling, hands in front of the heart. Inhale here. And exhale. And then on your next inhalation, slowly transitioning into that warrior three, super strong back leg. Breathe here. For 3, 2, and 1. Slowly stepping that back foot back. Inhaling, arms up. Exhale, lower hands down, low lunge. And then from here, coming into that side plank. Coming to the outer edge of that right foot. Left foot maybe in front as a kickstand. Or you bring that left leg on top of the right. Left arm up. Press the hips up and away from the ground. Maybe you lift your top leg up. Breathe. Slowly let the top leg come down, and on your exhale, back into your plank, slowly lowering down chaturanga. Inhaling for cobra or upward dog, and exhale, downward dog. Deep breaths in and out. Finding length along the back of the legs, length along the spine. Remember here, you can always rotate your triceps down to create a bit more space into the shoulders. And then on your next inhalation, bend into the knees, look in between your hands and step or hop to the front of the mat. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And inhaling into your chair pose, Utkatasana. Now stay here. Make sure that you can see your toes. If you can't see your toes, you lean a little bit more into the heels. Hands can be together. You can also have your hands separated, depending on what feels nicer for you. Strong legs. Deep breath in. And then on the exhale, hands in front of your heart. Twist prayer open towards the right side. You can stay up. You can hook the arm as well. Notice your knees. Make sure that they stay in line with each other. Pull that left hip back a little bit. Breathe. Next inhale, arms come up. And on the exhale, twist to the other side. Pull that right knee and hip a little bit back here. Press into your hands. Use that leverage to open more into your chest. And then on your next inhale, arms come up again. Stay in your chair. And on the exhale, straighten the arms, straighten the legs, and the arms come down. Deep breath in and out. And then placing your feet a little bit wider, and the toes slightly outward, hands in front of your heart. Slowly lowering down into Malasana, Yogi squat. Remember, it's okay to be with the heels lifted away from the ground. You can also place something under the heels. You can also sit on a block here. Try to find length along the spine. And breathe. Then we're going to go for Bakasana, crow pose. You're going to place your hands in front of your feet. And then you can start to straighten into the legs. And we have different variations here. I actually like to place my knees quite high into my armpits. You can also have the legs more to the outside of the arms and then shifting forward, and then see if you can slowly start to lift maybe one leg up, one toe up the floor and then the other. So when you have your knees more into your armpits, you're slowly going to come forward, look forward, round into the upper back, pull your navel in and up. And then see if you can slowly start to lift one foot away from the floor and maybe the second foot as well. Breathe here for 3, 2, 1, and slowly let the feet come down. If you like, you can take a little bit of a release of the wrist here by placing the hands under the feet. If that is too intense for you, you can also just stay in a forward fold and take some wrist circles. If you have your hands under your feet, inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, round. Forward folding forward, breathing. Maybe you wiggle your toes a bit to give a massage to the wrist. And then inhaling, halfway lift. Exhale, releasing the hands from the feet. Placing hands on your hips. Inhaling, standing tall, strong legs. And exhale, hands next to the body. You can close your eyes for a moment and just breathe. Making your way to the front of the mat if you're not there yet. Big toes touch, heels slightly separated. Inhale, circle the arms. Exhale, folding forward. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhaling for cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, downward dog. Nice deep breath in and out. Deep inhale, bend into the knees, look in between your hands. And exhale, step or hop to the front of the mat. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, circle the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Then start to ground your right foot down. And really lift up your toes and spread them wide as you place your toes back down into the ground. We're going for a few balancing postures. Keep your right leg slightly soft and bent, so don't overstretch it. Lifting up the left leg. We're going for our tree pose. You can have your foot under the knee. You can also have your big toe on the ground. Or maybe you can bring the heel up high into the groin and you have your foot above the knee. Hands in front of the heart. Press the foot and the leg together. Look at one point on the floor that's not moving. Pull your pelvic floor muscles up. Your Mula Bandha as if you're holding up your pee. Pulling that navel in and up. If you feel stable and you want to extend the legs out, go ahead. You can reach the arms up. Strong body, strong basis, foundation from the foot up, all the way to the crown of the head. You find that length and that strength. Slowly bring the hands back in front of the heart. You're going to shift that left knee forward. We're going to go into eagle, Garudasana. So you're going to cross the left leg over the right. Maybe your big toe has to be on the floor. Maybe you keep the foot lifted away from the ground, or maybe you wrap your foot, your ankle around the calf. Sit deep. Maybe you rotate the hips a little bit to get into the pose, but once you're in it, try to bring those hips forward again. Frame your heart with cactus arms for a moment. Breathe, strong legs, squeeze the legs together. Inhale, arms wide. Exhale, left arm comes under the right. You can have your hands wrapped, hand palms together. You can have the hands onto the shoulders, or even the back of the hands can come together. So see what works for you. Breathe here. Pull the navel in and up. Strong legs. For 3, 2, and 1. Slowly releasing. Ooh, shake it out. And then we'll do the other side. So the left leg, grounding it down. I like to pick up the toes. Solid foundation. Slight bend in the knee. This is so that you become a little bit more pliable, like bamboo in the wind. Lifting the right leg up. Placing the right foot either below or above the knee. Press the foot and the leg together. Hands in front of the heart. Pull the pelvic floor muscles up, the navel in and up. One point on the floor that's not moving. Focus on that. Your drishti. If you're feeling stable, maybe you want to bring the arms up. Keep the shoulders low. For 3, 2, 1. Hands slowly back to the heart. Bringing the knee forward. And then taking that eagle wrap. So bringing that right leg around the left. And if you notice that the hips come a little bit more towards the left, bring them forward again. Sit deep. Frame the heart, cactus arms, 90-degree angle in the elbows. On your next inhale, open the arms. And then on the exhale, the right arm comes under the left, either hugging your shoulders, back of the hands together, or the hand palms touch. Breathe here, squeeze the legs. For 3, 2, 1. Controlled release. Shake the legs out for a moment. And breathe. Make sure you're at the front of your mat. On the next inhale, circle the arms up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhaling to halfway lift. Exhale, plant hands, stepping back into your plank and lowering down chaturanga. Inhaling, cobra or upward dog. And exhale, downward dog. We're going for pigeon pose, Eka Palaraya Kapotanasana. On the next inhale, lifting the right leg up. And then on the exhale, bringing the right knee behind the right wrist. And then see where that shin and the foot end up. If you notice that the shin is fairly parallel to the short side of the mat, then make sure to flex your foot. Walking your back foot towards the back. Now, if you notice that you start to lean a lot into that right hip, then either with a block, a meditation cushion, or a little blanket or towel, prop your hip. And then keep your hands quite close into your hips. Breathe here, open into the chest. And then a deep inhale. And on your exhale, slowly start to lower down. And you can stay on your forearms. You can also come all the way to recline down onto your chest. Breathing here, just feeling that opening into that right hip. Surrendering for a moment into the posture, letting the body become really heavy here. And no need to engage, just relax for a moment. And then on your next inhale, you start to walk your hands back in. Lifting up with the chest again. Tuck the back toe under, walk that foot a little bit in so you give a little bit of space into your hip joint. Place the right hip down onto the ground and swing the left leg over. I'll face you for a moment. So the left foot is over and the right heel is in towards the left buttocks. If that doesn't feel nice, then you can also straighten into the right leg. Yeah, so see what feels okay for you. Bringing the left hand behind you, inhale, lifting up with the right arm, and on the exhale, taking the twist, you can hug your knee here. You can also bring your arm to the outside of the leg. Twisting from the navel upwards. Nice deep breaths in and out. And then on your next inhale, coming back to the middle. And on the exhale, just a counter twist, twisting in towards the opposite direction. And then coming back, releasing the legs. And taking a vinyasa before we take the other side. So you can roll over the knees, bringing yourself back into a plank, lowering down chaturanga. Inhaling cobra or upward dog. Exhale, down dog. Preparing for the left side. Inhaling, the left leg rises. And on the exhale, you bring that chin behind your hands. Walking the back foot towards the back. Tucking the toe. Remember, if the shin is fairly parallel to the short side of the mat, make sure that you flex your foot here. Hands stay close towards the hips for a moment. Prop your hip if you need to. The left hip with a blanket, a towel or a block. Inhale, open into your chest. Let's take another deep breath in. And then on the exhale, slowly walking forward. And remember, to your sleeping pigeon, elbows can stay on the floor. Maybe you're okay here. Maybe you want to come more down. Finding your breath. Relaxing completely into the body. And then on your next inhale, lifting up again, walking the hands back in. Tuck the back toe, walk the back foot in a little bit, and then the left hip can come down, and you swing the right leg around. So remember also that left leg now can be straight if that feels better, or you have the heel into the right buttocks and the left sole of the right sole of the foot is onto the ground. Have your right hand behind you, lift up with that left arm. Deep breath in, and then on the exhale, twisting. Either hugging the knee or arm onto the outside of the leg. Breathe here. Find length along the spine. And then on your next inhale, coming back to the middle. And on the exhale, counter twist. Inhaling, coming back. And then releasing the legs and taking a vinyasa roll over the knees, back into your plank. Slowly surrender down. Inhaling for cobra or upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Deep breaths in and out. And then on your next inhale, coming into a plank. And from your plank, slowly descending down towards the ground. Untucking your toes. Really press the feet firmly into the mat so you feel those kneecaps lift up. Your hands are a little bit more back maybe, so you really create that 90-degree angle in your elbows. And then as you inhale, peel off your chest for cobra. Breathe here, strong glutes, hamstrings, back muscles. For 3, 2, 1. Slowly descending down. Let's do one more. Now we're going to pick up the hands as well. Strong legs, pressing them into the ground. Notice the kneecaps lift up. Inhaling, lifting hands, lifting chest. Breathe here. For 3, 2, 1. Slowly surrendering down. You can stack your hands for a moment and relax your forehead onto your hands. Just a few breaths. Maybe you want to wiggle a little bit with your hips left or right. And then making your way to come lie onto your back. We're going for bridge pose, Setu Bandhasana, and maybe if you like, you can take Urdhva Dhanurasana full wheel as well. So you're going to bend into your knees, the feet stay onto the ground, flat on the floor. You can just about touch your heels. And let's take one bridge together, and for the second round you can choose whether you want to stay with the bridge or whether you're going to go for that wheel posture, Urdhva Dhanurasana. So on your next inhale, you press into your feet, you start to scoop your tailbone up. Scooping the tailbone up, and then slowly starting to lift the pelvis away from the ground. And then start to walk your shoulders in a bit. The idea is to bring the sternum closer in towards the chin. And you can clasp your hands, interlace your fingers underneath your buttocks. You can press a little bit into the floor with the hands and the arms as well. Strong legs here, press into the feet. Keep sort of tucking that tailbone under, creating space into that lower back. Breathe here. 3, 2, 1. And then slowly descending, bringing the arms away under the body so you can slowly come down. Here you can place your feet a bit wider and just let the knees rest into each other for a moment. Breathe. Now it's your choice. Maybe you take this bridge pose again, or maybe you want to take a full wheel. If you're taking the full wheel, same position of the feet. You bring your hands next to your ears with the fingers in towards your shoulders. Take a nice deep breath in. And then hold your breath and start to press yourself up into that wheel. And then you find your breathing again. Press into your hands and press into your feet. Deep breaths in and out. Strong legs, strong arms. If you are in your bridge, remember you can interlace fingers behind your back, walking those shoulders under. Take one more breath cycle. And then slowly releasing down. Be mindful coming onto the back of your head. Then the shoulders, middle of the back, lower back. And then again, feet a bit wider. Knees come towards each other. Just relax here for a moment. When we take this teepee tent position with the legs, we release a little bit into that lower back. Broadening into the lumbar and into the SI joint. And then if it feels nice, maybe you want to rock or hug your knees into your chest and rock a little bit from side to side. And when you're ready, you can rock a few times back and forth. Keep the spine nicely rounded. And then making your way into a seat. Once you're back in your seat, make sure that you have your strap close. You might need it. We're going for Paschimottanasana, forward fold. I'd like to always take a little bit the flesh away from the sitting bones, so I start to sit more towards the front of the sitting bones. Really strong legs here. Press the knees down into the ground, flex your feet. Pull the navel in and up. Arms up. Deep breath in. And then on the exhale, folding forward, tilt from the pelvis, how far you can tilt. And when you can't tilt anymore, then you release the hands down. Maybe you can hold onto your feet, your shins. You can also use a belt here. And even if you're not far into it, the belt can actually really help you to keep the feet flexing and to still sort of create a little bit of a pull onto the back. The moment we start to round into the spine, we unfortunately start to bring all the stress into there, stretching there, and not really working on the lower back and on the hamstrings. So try to keep length along the spine. Breathe. Strong legs. This is not a relaxing pose. This is a strong posture, strong arms pulling onto the belt or the feet. Find length. On your next inhale, halfway lift. And as you exhale, coming all the way up. Then we're going to go for Janu Sirsasana. So you might want to sit a little bit more to the left side of your mat and bring the right foot into the inner thigh, the heel sort of into the groin. And let the knee just relax down to the ground as much as possible. You can always bring a block also under the knee here to prop yourself. Inhaling, lifting up with the spine. Strong leg, so I still flex my straight leg, the foot of my straight leg, and I bring that knee, press it down towards the ground, and then I make my way forward. I try to keep that length. And remember also here, a strap can be a support, a help for you. Breathing, finding length along the spine, and slowly surrendering into that forward fold. A few breaths here. And then on your next inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, coming out of the pose. And then bringing your hand sort of parallel to that right buttocks. And then inhaling, you're gonna come onto the knee, come into gate pose and stretch your left arm overhead. Breathe here. This can feel like a really nice stretch after that forward fold. Opening. Deep inhale. And on the exhale, slowly coming down. And then we'll go for the other side. So sitting more towards the right. Left foot is into my inner thigh. I flex the foot of the straight leg. Press the knee down. Inhaling, arms up. And on the exhale, folding forward. Find length along the spine. Use your belt. You can also hold onto your shin. Breathe here. On the next inhale, halfway lift. Exhale all the way up. Inhaling the hand next to the buttocks. Coming onto that knee, opening into the chest. Taking one more nice deep breath in and out. Stretching your body. And then on the exhale, slowly coming down. Stretching out the legs. And then we're going to take Viparita Karani, legs up the wall. You can also choose to do a shoulder stand here, and then a plow and a fish pose. Or you can choose to do a headstand. But for this practice, we'll take Viparita Karani, legs up the wall. And you can use a block here. So you're just going to recline down onto your back. Have your block closed in case you might want it. And then Viparita Karani is just the legs straight up. And of course, if you don't use a prop here, you will notice that you'll have to work a bit in your core to keep the legs up. If you're feeling a bit tired after the practice and you don't want to hold your legs up, then you're also welcome to place a block under the sacrum, so under the big flat bone, sort of at the back of the end of the spine. And then when you have your legs up, you don't really have to hold them up so much. The block is helping you here. So whichever position you choose, relax your shoulders, breathe here, mild inversion, letting the blood flow from the feet back down to the heart. Maybe you close your eyes. Let's take 12 nice deep breaths in and out here. If you chose to take a shoulder stand or a headstand, and remember coming out carefully and also always taking those counter postures. After the shoulder stand, you take plow pose, and then you take a fish to open the throat again. And after a headstand, then you take a child's pose. 3 more breath cycles here, Viparita Karani. And then slowly you're going to release the legs down. If you want to work a bit on the core, do it really slow. Keep the legs straight. Slowly, slowly, slowly surrendering the legs all the way down to the ground. And if you were using a block, sorry, I should have said before, you normally, you take your block away before you lower your legs down, of course. And then hugging the knees into your chest, rocking a little bit from side to side. And then we'll take a twist, having the arms in a T shape or a cactus shape with 90-degree angle in the elbows. And then shifting your hips a little bit towards the left side, and then you drop the knees down towards the right. That way you keep your spine nice and straight. And then you can look into the opposite direction of the knees. Just breathe here down towards the lower belly, few breaths. Twist is always really nice to reset the spine. And then on your next inhale, the legs come back up. And then slowly bring the hips over to the other side. And slowly dropping the knees down towards the left. Looking in towards the opposite direction of the knees. And again, breathing down towards the lower belly. One more breath cycle here. And then slowly coming back up with the knees. And then you can finish with just hugging knees into your chest for a moment. Or maybe you want to take a happy baby for a few breaths. And then bringing the soles of the feet together, letting the feet come down to the ground, knees flaring open and out to the side. You can have one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Nice deep breaths in, just a few breaths like this. Supta Baddha Konasana, a reclined butterfly pose. And then slowly from here, you can start to make your way into Shavasana, extending your legs out, letting the feet fall out to the side, making sure that there is nothing in your way. And then the arms a little bit away from the body and the hand palms open towards the sky so that you get to release into your shoulders. And just breathing here, surrendering down, letting the weight of the body really surrender down into the ground. And no more engagement is needed in the muscles, no more control over the breathing. Just really surrendering into the moment. Then I encourage you to stay here as long as you can, as long as feels nice. Because it's so nice to take a Shavasana, to integrate the practice, to really let the body take in all those benefits of the practice. So if you can, stay a while longer. And then when you come out slow and gentle. I will finish the recording here. So thank you for practicing with me. Namaste.